Hello guys, welcome to this review. Remember about 6 months ago we started this experiment where we started talking about if the size of planting material for yam, if it really matters. We decided to set up about 4 groups. So it's time to look at what we have. Remember that this particular group was the group that was ranging from about 170 gram to about 190 something. So approximately I just categorized them as less than 200 grams. Here we had about 250 gram to about 300 grams, no more than that. And here from about 350 gram to about 500 gram, thereabout. That's this category. And I just added these 2 sacks, remember, was between 750 gram to about 850 gram. So that's what we had here. So we are going to look at them one after the other. And remember we said what we are going to be using will be the multiplication ratio, or the ratio of multiplication. What that means is for everything we bring out, we want to see, will it be times, or will it be times 10, or will it be times 5? So we'll now see that we will use a multiplication ratio to eventually categorize them to see which one we are going to now be following, kind of. But let's see what we have. I want to start the harvest now. All right. This is the first category. Unfortunately, not all the sacks eventually grew and got to maturity, but we're going to just see the ones that we have. This is dry season, and you can see that it's very easy for me to just do this because initially I decided to wet the sacks before I started. So this is what I'm getting from this. Interestingly, I did not even bother doing anything to them during this season. I did not even water them because of course I didn't want to be seen altering anything. Whatever I get here is going to be strictly a natural course, kind of. So I'm getting this one is from the second sack, nothing else here. So this is yet another sack. Okay. Okay, I don't think there's anything here. I don't think this one did not succeed. This is the last sack. This one is a disaster. This one did not come out well at all. Okay, so this is actually what we got from 4 sacks. We'll just take it the way they are. We'll move to the next category. All right, let us go to category number 2, or the group B. These ones, the sizes of seeds, they're ranging from about 250. I think it was between 250. Let me just quickly check. Okay, because I labeled them somewhere about 250 and 250 to 350 grams. So this is the first sack. I did some watering, but of course it did not get done. Let me just use this to assist. But I will always advise that you wet the sack before you harvest. Give it some time to soak down. All right, so 250. Okay, 250 to 350 categories. Tuber number 1. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me see. I think it's not everything that also germinated here, but I can't remember. Let me just see. So, actually, this is one of the realities when it comes to yam farming. Sometimes you can even have a particular seed that has broken dormant, you will plant. You will think that it will germinate. Unfortunately, it will probably just die off. So many factors responsible. Nothing came out from that sack. So let me also check this sack. So because this is largely experimental, ideally I would have replaced, but because it is largely experimental, and of course we need to compare with our former video, so I did not even bother, so that nothing will be altered. Whatever we get, we are going to measure based on I think these 3, yeah, I can remember when I think these 3 sacks have nothing. Okay, all right, this is the last sack, and it's as if we got something here. Okay. Kill. This is what we are getting from this. This one even pierces the side of the. Let me get knife to remove that. Okay. I don't want it to break. So like what I was saying, okay, this one now I think has a little bit of seed from the side. So it was a small. Okay, this one is a tuber I got from the other sack. So out of 5, that's why I normally use multiple sacks, so that at least we can get something from at least one of them. This one is still part of it. So these 2 came out from the category of 250 gram to 300 gram of seed. All right. So we'll go to the 3rd category, and that 3rd category was around, let me check, okay, around 400, yeah, around 400 to 500 grams. Okay, now for you to actually really follow, at the end of this video we'll just put the link to the initial videos. So these are just series of reviews that we are just doing to just give you an idea of what we thought in our minds. All right, so this category is 500, 300 to 500, I think. So we're getting from here. We didn't tamper anything. We just allowed this stuff to take their natural course. I didn't have to, because for me to now be saying, let me fertilize or do that. So nothing even came out here. So they do quite as good as I thought. Okay. Now you'll be wondering, why is it that some of these harvests, they are just poor. Now, the thing is this: if you don't really take care of yam in sack, as in you don't spend time, because I did not just bother, because I didn't want a situation whereby, because if I want to do what I'm going to do for one, will be what I will do for all. So I allowed them fight their cause out. So what we're having here will just be a natural stuff. So I want to know what you think. Do you think our approach is okay? Because if we want to focus on, caring for them, it means if you are putting 1 gram of fertilizer in one sack, it must be the same gram that you are going to put in the other sack. Whoa, this one entered the ground though, which is what ideally you are supposed to expect, but this one went down. Okay. Oh, all right. 500, 300 to about 500. Okay. Right? Okay, 400 to about 500. That's what it is. Okay. They will not get to. Okay, I still have one circle. Still have one sack. This one, nothing came out of this one. I still have one sack. Let me see. Okay. So this is actually the reason I normally like doing multiple sacks, so that in case one doesn't do well in that category, we can have something else to compensate. Typical yam sack. Some we do very, very well. Others we do. They will not do well. This one, there's nothing here. Let's leave that one. Okay. We'll now go to the last category. That last category, there were just 2 sacks. Okay. Let's see. It was 750 grams and above. Between 750 and above. So, what is this giving us? Okay. This one has decided to be very, very strong. So let's see. I have my yam harvester here. For those who know me, they know I cannot do without yam harvester. Okay. It went down. So please always be careful, because you're not too careful, you hear a sound you don't like. No. So I still went down. Okay. This sack actually fell. One of the two sacks, it fell, and unfortunately didn't really do quite well, this particular sack. And that's one of the things we should watch out for when you are planting in sacks. Sometimes your sacks can just fall if they are not well arranged. What I did not envisage was that I did not envisage that these ones, they will fall. Before I came back from a journey, one day I discovered that many of them had fallen. I did not even bother to do anything again. I just left them the way they are. Okay. This one entered the ground, so I will have to carefully remove it. I had to put water and trying to carefully dig out because it entered the ground, and I don't want it to break. So I put water to wet the place first, then see. Okay. Okay. I'm able to remove it. So what happened was that the sack bent a little, and so the tuber decided to just penetrate the side, and from there enter the ground. Kept going. Okay. So out of the two sacks, one did very well, and that's where I got this bizarre looking shaped ear from. So there's this big tuber here, there's another one. I'll just drop it. So this is from the category of 750 to 850. All right. So let's arrange them and now do the weighing. But I'm sure by now you already have an idea of how each category fed. Even though we did five sacks, but at least we have representative from at least one particular sack, and you can to an extent draw some form of conclusion. But let us try and do some form of analysis and see. So guys, this is the interesting part of this experiment. We've already harvested. This is the group 1, 200 grams and below. 200 grams and below. This is group 2, let's say between 250 grams and 300 grams. This is group 4, between 400 grams and 500 grams. Planting materials, the seed we planted. And of course, this is the last group, between 750 grams and 850 grams. Now we have seen the harvest. Now, of course, it wasn't really a perfect stuff, like all the sacks brought out some tubers. But what we are going to do, the reason why we have multiple sacks is so that at least we can have something from each of the groups. Now we have seen which one is actually better. Don't be fast to conclude by looking at just the sizes. because whatever your conclusion is going to be relative to what you planted. Hence, the concept of multiplication ratio. And what does that mean? It means that, okay, let us just agree that we are not going to do an average of each group. Let us just take the biggest tubers from each of the group. Let's agree that instead of taking an average, let us just on our own be biased, take the biggest tuber from each of the group. For example, now here, this is the biggest tuber from the category of less than 200. So if I want to weigh this now, I'm weighing this. This is just approximately 800 grams. This 827, or just let's say 820 on the average. But we can just round it off to 800. If we say this is 800 and the seed we planted was about less than 200 grams, let's say we are using 200 to divide this. If we use 200 to divide this, it means it will give us 4. So it means the multiplication ratio is that the seed we planted gave us a harvest that is 4 times the seed. That's the multiplication ratio, 4. In this category, we leave that. Now, group 2, where we planted between 250 to 300 grams. If we weigh, because I think this is the biggest here, yes. Eyeballing, this is the biggest. Let's weigh. And this one also followed it, so I'll weigh it along with it. Right? Here I'm having about, let's say, 3.4 kg or 3,410 grams. All right? 3,400 grams. If you divide it by the highest here, which is 300, use 300 to divide 3,000 something. You are going to get approximately 11, because it's more than 3,300 divided by 300 is 11. So the multiplication ratio here in this particular group automatically is 11. All right? Okay, let's move up to this category. This is the category of 400 to 500 grams planting materials. And this is the largest tuber we got from here. If we measure this largest tuber now, is approximately, look at it, it's approximately 3,400. Just like we got here, 3,400. But remember that we are going to now use 500 to divide this one. If we use 500 to divide 3,400, 3,000, you use 500 to divide, is approximately 6. So let's say the multiplication ratio here is what? 6 in this category. Nice. This is where we got the biggest tuber per se. The biggest tuber. We've chosen this one. Now, this is the biggest tuber. The category of 750 to 850. Let's weigh. If we measure, it's going to give us, but this one is giving us, let me position it well so that we are not biased. I hope this thing is not touching this gel. Okay, let me do it like this so that we'll be sure that it's measuring it well. To stabilize this thing, it's not easy. Okay. This is about, it's actually a little above. See, I'm looking at more force. Okay, you know what? Let me just break this one off to make it easy. Weigh this one first. So, yeah, I'll now put this one. So, yes. So, approximately 4.2 kg. This is 4.2 kg. from this category. 4.2 kg, that is 4,200. So 4,200, if we divide it by 800, it will give us roughly a little bit above 5, not even up to 6. All right. Now, what does that mean? It means if we compare by ratio, you will discover that the category of 250 to about 300 grams did better than all of them. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that as your size of planting material is increasing, you will get commensurable increase, even if the size of tuber increases. But in terms of cost, because if I were to be a commercial farmer and I want to go with size of seed to plant, I will not do anything more than 250 grams, because 250 grams is giving me a multiplication ratio that is far better than every other thing. You may say, oh, this experiment is not so perfect and all that, but let me tell you something. Before I even did this experiment, I did a literature review kind of, and I realized that there's a particular literature I saw, and he said this same thing that we did now was what they did, although in a larger scale and all that. I discovered that there was no increase really in terms of adding to your value in terms of money. Because if the category of seed 250 compared to this seed 750 will be more expensive compared to this, but the output is not commensurable. So that article, that publication advised that don't do anything more than 300, maximum 350 grams if you are going to plant. And of course, don't make it too small, because you can see this category of 100 and something grams now. They are giving us a multiplication ratio. What best case scenario would have been, oh, it will give us a multiplication ratio of 10. But it did not even give us up to that. So you see that this experiment was raw. I did not even bother to add anything to say I want to be fertilizing or, try as much as possible to do anything. No, I did not. I just let it the way it was. That's why you see some of them did not do well in some sacks and all that. But it answered our basic question. Well, if you want to validate this further, you can actually try it out. Do your own experiment and let's see comparison. You might even be surprised that maybe your category of less than 200 will do very, very well. But for now, I will keep to what I have been doing. And you know what I've been doing? Personally, I didn't want to reveal this. This is the size I've always used. I don't really like my size being more than this, because at the end of it all, it will save me more money and give me more profit if I use this. I don't know what you have been using, but I actually want to hear from you. There are people that are far better than me when it comes to all this stuff. Please share your experience in the comment section. I want to know what you think. Do you think that the size matters? Has this experiment answered any question or the research question? I leave that for you, the judge, to decide. I'm just a moderator. So let's go to the comment section. Thanks and God bless.